All right, hey, it's June 25th, Thursday, bringing you your weekly Lake of the Ozarks fishing report. Well, let's see, the lake level is 659.42, so it's pretty much unchanged from last week. Now, the current, which is a big factor this time of year, we've seen a lot of fluctuation. Actually, they've kind of really slowed it down to, like, I don't know, 9,000 cubic foot per second, but they will ramp it up, up upper 20s, some days. But throughout this past week, since the last report, it's been all over, except for it's really kind of, they've really slowed it down, basically. So that current that, we really like this time of year to put some fish out there, a lot more active and more catchable. It's starting to slow down. This morning I had a trip, and it was, they were only running 9,000, and a young man from Illinois caught him a nice 4-pounder, or I'm sorry, it was a 5-pounder. It was exactly 5 pounds on Main Lake Point on a shaky head. So they're still out there. They're just a little more scattered. They're starting to scatter out a little bit as we go, more time without this current. They're going to start kind of spreading out, kind of settling more into brush. Brush is going to be more of a key factor. Maybe just inside the points, more secondaries. They just won't be they won't be so much Main Lake oriented on those drops and Main Lake points. They'll kind of scatter out. Baits this week, man, all over the place this week. And caught them pretty good this week. First off, we actually finally got a chance to go down to Sportsman's warehouse down there in Springfield and restocked on some things. Man, if you guys haven't been down to that place, go down there and look around. They got you got Jim Lovin down there and Stick. They know what's going on. They'll help you out. Man, we bought stuff. I bought me my favorite reel is this Hyper Mag they make. 8 3-to-1. I throw it on my bottom baits. It's really light, cast perfect, just everything about it. I really like it, and that's one of my favorite rigs. But while we was down there, we picked up a couple of these reels that you'll see. I don't want to call it the bargain bin, but it's kind of a bin they have there right in the front, and they're reconditioned or returns or what have you. And man, these reels are like $40, $50, and these are high quality reels, great ball bearings. Most of them are just your average 7 5-to-1. But I did pick up a nice one for my deep diving crankbaits. I get $40 for a reel, 6-to-1 gear ratio for these big crankbaits. I mean, you're just not going to beat it. So. Couple other things, on a lot of guide trips, we'll use spinning rod and reel setup. And it's kind of hard to find a good spinning rod and reel setup, a good quality rod that you can throw shaky heads on, that they can actually feel things on the bottom and get a realistic view of what's going on down there. And man, we picked up, Denise and I both picked up some of these American Heroes. They're really light, really nice, good, heavy duty reel, and an IM6 graphite rod. I mean, this is actually the one that the young man caught that big fish on this morning, but it's really sensitive. It's a good all-around. It's kind of medium. It says medium, but I'd say a medium heavy. You can throw some pretty good baits on this, I mean, it's just a good all-around, round reel. And I think this combo is, what is it, $40? 70? 70 bucks. I forget what exactly it was, but for a rod and reel combo, I think it was $69 or something. But I mean, you can't beat it. So, and they've got everything, from price point to whatever you're looking for. But you guys have a day or get down there in that Springfield area. It's exit 84 down there off of 44. But go down and see them guys, talk to them, tell them what you're doing, what you're needing, what you're looking for, and they're going to set you up with the right equipment. So, we were talking about baits. So, of course, the little shaky head on a 1/4 ounce in the mornings has been good. before we get a lot of boat traffic, a lot of waves. Just throwing on main lake points, and really you can kind of jump point to point, steep points, shallower points. They kind of change up each day. We caught some on steeper stuff today, and then we caught some on long tapering points. You know, I will say, like earlier, the shallower tapering points, you know, were a little better, but then, you know, once the sun got up and got a little warmer and things got a little rougher, we had to back out, you know, 15, 18 foot. But that big fish he caught this morning come probably out about 6 foot of water on a shaky head on this rod and reel. So, you know, shaky head's been great. Another bait I've been throwing a lot here lately is our new Crappie instigator. And it's basically like a wobble head style, but we've put it on one of our zapper, half-ounce zapper head, so it's more of a structured head, so it comes through brush better than like just a football head. And we're just rigging it with one of our muskrats on the back of it, and talk about an easy bait to throw. You know, this, you just throw it out there, let it go to the bottom, and you just creep it along the bottom. You just reel it. And this thing's hitting the bottom, the head, and this is up here free, moving around, looks natural. And you know, as fishing slows down, we don't have a lot of current. The fish sometimes just need something to get a reaction bite. You know, they may not be in a feeding mode, but something like this will trigger a bite. So it's a really easy bait to throw. They come with a 3/0 wide gap hook, and this is also set up with a clasp on it where you can interchange those hooks, which is a real neat feature we added to it. You know, you pop that hook off and you can add a 1/0, 2/0, all the way up to 5/0, whatever you want, whatever bait you're using. So that's a neat deal. And those come in a 1/2 ounce. But we use that this week. Caught a lot of fish on that. Like I said, it's a really simple bait. You just throw it up wherever you're throwing, on a point, up to the bank, let it go down, and you just reel along, creep along, stop it, reel it. It's a neat bait. And it's a productive bait. It's kind of a bait that I've really kind of started using, I'll be honest, just this last couple of years, these wobble heads. And they're, you know, they're a good productive bait. If you don't get out a lot, or you just want to keep it simple, which I try to anyway all the time, you know, wobble heads are a great choice. You know, as these fish are out and getting out deeper, the Wheezy jig has been really productive. Another deal, it's just a football style jig, but it's got a heavy weed guard. So like I said, they're going to start getting into these brush piles a lot more, or relating to more bigger rocks, or, you know, more of a you know, structure. Of the Wheezy jig's a great choice. Obviously, it comes in 5/8, but the weed guard, that heavy weed guard, allows you to bring it through that brush, bring it through the rocks, the boulders. It really doesn't matter. It just comes through things really well. It's got these wire keepers that hold these plastics on there. Like I said, you can use the same trailer all day. You know, unless the fish bites off the ends, they're not going to pull it down and tear up your bait. So the Wheezy jig in 5/8 ounce, this time of year, just same deal. Throw it on the points, on the ledges, bluff ledges. Throw it up there, let it go to the bottom, and just drag it. That bait, I just like to just drag the thing along real slow, let it sit there, move it along. You know, this time of year, you're going to have to kind of switch things up. You know, say, if you go an hour or so and you don't get a bite, it's time to change. So, you know, that one, we're just dragging it. We're throwing it out there and dragging the bait along. And a lot of times, you know, it'll get bites. But if it doesn't get bites, and they're not in that particular mode, you know, where they're wanting something dragging or real aggressive, you switch up, and we'll switch up and we throw our reaction jig. And we created this one. It's a 3/4 ounce. They actually come in 3/4 and 1 ounce. Medium weed guard. We always put a big trailer, whatever choice you like. I like these pecker baits. You know, these baby pecker crawl is what that is. But it's just what it is. It's a reaction jig is what we named it. And this is what we use for stroking, basically. You throw it up there, you know, let it hit the bottom, kind of reel it, and rip it up off the bottom. And what you're trying to do is get these inactive fish just to chase it and grab it out of reaction. And that's why we named it reaction. We like to throw these out on, you know, bluff ledges, long points that come off, and just drop into deep channel, or even just up on a long tapering point. You just kind of got to experiment with it. But this is if they don't want a bait just dragging on bottom, whether it be a worm or a shaky head or whatever, you take this reaction jig, throw it out there, let it go to the bottom. And it takes a little getting used to, as far as your how you want to work it. But basically, it works best if you just kind of, on a tight line, kind of work along, rip it up off the bottom. I like to rip it up high and hold my rod tip up and watch that line. You really want to pay attention to your line as that bait's sinking back through that water column. Because a lot of times them fish will follow it up, and as it's sinking back down, that's when they hit it. So watching that line comes up, and as it's sinking, and you're in 35, 40 foot of water, and it only sinks down to 15, 20, and goes slack, that fish come up and grab it. So you just want to watch your line, but that's a fun bait to use. Keeps you entertained, jerking that thing up off the bottom, and man, when they hit it, they really crush it. That bait is, there's nothing finesse about this bait. It's got a 6/0 real beefy Mustad Ultra Point hook, just for what you're doing out there. One big solid hook in them fish, because right now they're pretty active. They're doing a lot of jumping. The swim bait, that swim bait, I found it's best with some current. We caught some on it this week. Actually, towards the end of the week, last week we were out, and I was up, I don't know, a mid 30 mile marker or so, and we were watching the current all morning. We were kind of fishing bluffs in the morning, and we were catching some fish, a few keepers, nothing great, and they were running like 11,000, I think. And then I was paying attention, and they cranked it, 35,000. We give it about a half hour. We went to a point, Main Lake Point, and on one of these 5-inch swimmers, Zoom X, 3/4 ounce head, and he caught him a big one of the big heads on that swim bait. I mean, just that quick when that current cranks. But I've just found that when they really slow that current down, it kind of gets hard to catch them on that. You can still catch them on it. They're just kind of spread out. They're not all grouped up on these points. So, baits, man, that kind of, like I said, it's all over the place. There's the swim bait. I'm throwing it on 17, 7'3" rod, just on a 7.5 is why I like that. The bottom bait, the reaction jig, I'm throwing it on a 8-to-1, 17-pound test. I want that fast 7'3" rod. You want to really get it out there. And when you're ripping it off the bottom and that fish bites it, you got to be able to catch up to them. Because a lot of times you got some slack. So you need a fast reel retrieve for that one, that particular style of fishing. The football jig, a 7-foot rod with this is a 8-to-1 reel. I really like them 8-to-1s. 17-pound test, when you're dragging football jig. Your crankbaits, 7'3" rod. You want a good long rod so you can really, loft them baits way out there so you can get the maximum depth out of it. Like I said, this is one of them reels I picked up down there. This is a 6-to-1 reel with 12-pound fluorocarbon on it. Don't want to get much more than 12. You'll lose a lot of your action, and you'll lose the depth. You'll start seeing these fish out there. You'll be sitting out in, 40 foot of water, and you'll see some fish suspended on a drop, or maybe above a brush pile, or just out there suspended, and they might be 20 foot down, and you're going to need to really get your bait way out past them. So when you're cranking that bait, just crank that thing. Crank it, stop it, crank it, stop it. Maybe pull it, make it do some erratic things. Just a cast it out and just a steady reel, a lot of times just won't do it. If they're really aggressive, yeah, they'll hit it. But most time, you need to stop it, start it, kind of just erratic. It's just something, because you'll see them, you hear me all the time talk about my live scope. The thing is just amazing. But you'll literally see fish follow these baits. If you can pick your crankbait up in that live scope, you'll see fish come after it. And you're just reeling steady, and they'll just follow it. But if you jerk it or change that direction, they'll attack it. So it's a teaching tool, if it's as much as a fish finder too. It just shows you how fish react. So, you know, the shaky head, I usually like throwing it on 12. Just a 12-pound, 7-foot rod, 8-1. This is that Hyper Mag. You really like 12 or 15-pound test on that. I like the 1/4 or 5/16 shaky head for that. You know, same thing with the wobble head, 15-pound, just kind of an all-around line size, 15. I don't want to take away from the action too much. It's a 1/2 ounce head. This is a you know, a loose reel with 15-pound test, 17 or 7-foot rod. So, you know, that's all the equipment. Man, as far as you know, other baits, the 10-inch worms is working. I either like Tequila Sunrise or the black and blue flake. You know, and I like throwing it on the on our big 5/8 ounce shaky head, big 5/8 ounce with big 6/0 EWG hook. You know, and that's, you know, like we say all the time, you can bring this through brush and rocks and everything, but this is the one you just throw it out there and just drag it. Drag that thing slow. Let it sit there. Drag it slow. Maybe every once in a while give it a pop. You know, but that's this time of year, 10-inch worms, one of the best baits to use. Just kind of fine fish, locate fish. That or a brush hog. The full-size brush hog. Just green pumpkin on that. Maybe chartreuse the tails up on that 5/8 ounce shaky head, or Texas rig. Either one, whatever you prefer. You know, the other crappie's kind of slowed down this time of year. Basically, what we do is we troll for a crappie. You can still catch them under these docks. They get way under these docks. You get to really shoot up underneath there, which is fine if you like doing that. But if you just want to go out and catch a bunch of crappie, just get these. You know, I'm sure there's other brands, but this is that Bandit brand. My dad lives up on Truman, and he showed me this, and we just buy these Bandits. They're a cheap crankbait. 200 series, 300 series. One goes down about 10 or 12. The other one goes down about, I don't know, 16 foot. And basically, you just troll, throw them way out there behind your boat, and troll along. Try to troll these bluffs where they intersect with creeks or coves. Watch your draft. You just watch them, and you'll see them. The crappie bunch up. You'll troll through them, and you'll catch them. And we're catching some pretty good ones. We'll catch some good foot longers out there. You know, and you'll catch a bunch of them. You also catch a bunch of white bass too, which is a lot of fun. Catching some catfish too now. They're about ready to spawn, but you know, deep diving crankbaits, you're catching some catfish. Caught one yesterday on shaky head. Really don't matter. The catfish get up in there rooting around. But on these Bandits, trolling these bluffs. Say you got 3, 4, 5 people in the boat, pontoon boat, bass boat, whatever. Just have everyone troll one and have a lot of fun. Everybody catch fish and catch your dinner. But you'll catch everything out there. You'll catch walleye, catfish, bass, crappie, drum, you name it. You'll catch them. But just a good way in the summertime, just go out and catch some fish. Obviously, this time of year, you're going to want to get out. We're doing trips from 6 a.m. to 10, and that's pretty much enough. By 10 o'clock, it's starting to get rough. It's starting to get hot. You know, it's time to go in and enjoy the water, swim or relax or whatever. But you know, that's kind of it this week. It's been a really good week. A lot of fish biting, catching everything from, you know, 10-inch fish to 5, 6 pounders. I haven't personally been out in the evenings a whole lot, but if you keep track of like the Wednesday nighters down here, they're really catching them. They're catching them pretty good in the evenings, you know, which is 6 to 10. It's taking anywhere from 17 to 19 pounds for 4 fish. So that's pretty darn good. So, you know, if you get out early, fish, and then maybe take a break and go back out in the evenings. But, you know, other than that, guys, that's about all I got for you this week. So, got the 4th of July weekend coming up. If you're coming down, just like always, have a lot of patience. You're going to need it. There's a lot of people down. Wear your life jackets. Be safe and enjoy yourselves. And until next week, we'll see you.